And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we have got a fantastic show for you today. Matter of fact, we've got a fantastic show for you every day. But today is not going to be any different than any of the other ones. So, you know what? Let's get right to it. First of all, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 80 degrees on its way to 58 degrees. And I want you to know that on today's show, we're going to be discussing what we do every day, and that is what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and then we'll continue our segment, the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story. Well, on today's special segment, we're going to have John Matthews, Joe Hakos, and we're going to be talking about conservative politics on our semi-weekly simulcast, and then later on, John Hanson will be here, that little old wine drinker, and we're going to be talking about food and wine, so you don't want to miss it. Well, right now, let's talk about the news. I've abbreviated it, encapsulated it somewhat, so I can give you the top 10 things that are in the news today, so you'll know what to talk about to your friends, your neighbors, your friends, your business associates, that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into some more in-depth stuff right after this. These are the 10 things you need to know for Monday. Your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today and probably tomorrow, too. First up, what happened to Hillary Clinton at New York City's 9/11 event? Well, the Democratic candidate left the remembrance ceremony early, and her doctor later revealed she's got walking pneumonia. And you know what? A lot of people get that. That's not, that doesn't mean that she's sickly. Well, it doesn't get easier. The grief never goes away. That's how Tom Acquaviva describes his feelings upon attending a 15th anniversary ceremony of the 9/11 in Lower Manhattan. Acquaviva's son, Paul, died at the World Trade Center during the attacks. And Syria truce, brokered by the United States and Russia, is set to begin. But rebel factions in Syria express deep reservations about the terms of the ceasefire that seeks to restart the peace process for the war-torn country. And how Tesla says it's improving the autopilot. The electric car maker says that its driverless navigation system will rely more on radar and less on cameras to prevent crashes like the fatal one involving a Tesla Model S and a tractor-trailer last May. And conservatives push to impeach the IRS chief. The effort stands to fail, though, due to solid Democratic opposition and resistance from many Republicans. Next up, who's selling a nuke plant at bargain prices? Well, I can tell you, after spending 40 years and $5 billion on the 2 unfinished reactors in Alabama, the Tennessee Valley Authority sets a $36.4 million minimum bid and looks to cut its losses. Yeah. Well, West Virginia University students win $750,000. That's a robotics prize. The students claimed top spot in the NASA competition by successfully navigating a robot to retrieve items over wide and varied terrain. And why hops growers are expanding to new states. The demand for hops is high in part because of America's obsession with India Pale Ale. That's the IPA that you hear about, which use large amounts of hops to create flavor-packed styles of beer. Well, Sully soars with $35.5 million at the box office opening. Adult audiences turn out in droves for the dramatization of Captain Chesley Sully Sulzberger, emergency landing of the U.S. Airways Flight 1549 in the Hudson River in 2009. Well, finally, Wawrinka wears down Djokovic to gain U.S. Open victory. Stan Wawrinka beats defending champion Novak Djokovic for his first U.S. Open title. Yeah, go figure, right? Well, that gets us past the stuff that we've abbreviated so we can kind of give you an idea what's going on. Let's get into a little more in-depth news and give you some real information. First of all, here's the latest off the AP wire. It came in about 36 minutes ago. Trump says his schedule is a real schedule. The latest on the U.S. presidential race. You know what? Donald Trump is boasting that his schedule is a real schedule. The Republican presidential nominee made the comment in Battleground, North Carolina, just today. He has frequently criticized Democratic rival Hillary Clinton for what he claims is a light campaign state and questioned her fitness for office. Clinton was diagnosed with pneumonia on Friday and is taking a few days off after falling ill at a 9/11 memorial on Sunday. Earlier today, he told Fox News that he hoped his Democratic opponent would recover quickly. Well, an aide to Bill Clinton says that the former president will headline his wife's campaign fundraiser in California tomorrow. The aide says the former president also will headline previously scheduled campaign events in Nevada on Wednesday. Hillary Clinton spending a few days resting at her suburban New York home after being diagnosed with pneumonia and falling ill at the 9/11 ceremony. You know what? Yeah, they're gonna make what they're gonna make out of this thing. There's no way around it. But the truth is, it could have happened to anyone when you think about it. That's just the way it goes. You know, Clinton scrambles to head off the fallout from the brutal weekend that she's had. Hillary Clinton's campaign scrambling to head off lasting damage from her brutal weekend. Aides are promising to release more of her medical records following her bout with pneumonia and conceding they were too slow in providing information about her condition. Democrats said today that Clinton's health incident alone is unlikely to fundamentally alter the presidential race, but some also said it adds to the growing sense of uncertainty less than 2 months from Election Day. For many supporters, Clinton's battle with Republican Donald Trump is worryingly close, raising concerns not only about holding the White House, but also taking control of the Senate. Yeah, go figure. Everybody's wondered. Everybody's worried. At least a lot of them are just going to cause false worries. They're both in good shape, good health. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Don't like either one of them. I'm just like 70% of the rest of the nation. I don't like either one of the people, but one of them is going to be the president of the United States. Well, here's the latest for you. 18 minutes ago, Pence wants to meet with Cruz during a D.C. visit. Oh, man, I've got to tell you, Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate says he hopes to meet in Washington with former Trump rival Ted Cruz. Pence said in an interview just today on CNN that he hopes to meet with the Texas senator while visiting with Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill tomorrow. Pence offered a lukewarm endorsement of Cruz's before the Indiana primary in May. Cruz dropped out of the race after losing to Trump in Indiana and refused to endorse him at the Republican National Convention this summer. Pence's campaign spokesman and spokeswoman for Cruz's Senate office did not respond to messages on whether a meeting was planned. The Indiana governor also is slated to meet with House Speaker Paul Ryan on Tuesday. So we'll see what actually happens with that. These guys keep playing games out there. It's almost like a poker game, you know. It's just kind of silly stuff going on. Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the news, and I'm going to talk to you about the confusion over the ceasefire as the United States walks back Kerry comments. And I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages. Do not go away. We've got a lot of great show for you. We'll be right back after these few messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. You know what? Let's talk about the confusion over the ceasefire as the United States walks back Kerry comments. Confusion reigned today over Syria's new ceasefire as Secretary of State John Kerry said the United States and Russia could permit President Bashar Assad's government to launch new airstrikes against al-Qaeda-linked militants. The State Department quickly reversed itself. Spokesman John Kirby said later that there were no provisions under the nationwide truce for U.S.-Russian authorization of bombing missions by Assad's forces. This is not something we could ever envision doing, he said. Kerry's comments at a news conference were the closest any American official, the closest any American official had come to suggesting indirect U.S. cooperation with Assad since the Civil War started in 2011. President Barack Obama called on Assad to leave power more than 5 years ago. The U.S. blames the Syrian leader for a war that has killed perhaps 500,000 people. Can you believe that? Yeah, of course you can believe it. Why wouldn't you? And this is crazy. I can tell you this, Syria's ceasefire enters into effect, but rebels don't make any commitments here. A ceasefire came into effect in Syria at sunset today, there anyway, in the latest attempt led by the United States and Russia to bring some quiet in the 5.5-year civil war. Residents and observers reported quiet in most of the country hours after the truce came into effect, though activists said airstrikes took place on contested areas around the northern city of Aleppo. But the most powerful rebel groups have slowed down misgivings over the ceasefire deal, which was crafted without their input last weekend in Geneva between the United States and Russian diplomats. Hours after it came into force, a coalition of rebel factions put out a statement that stopped short of committing to the ceasefire, a reflection of their distrust of the government. Well, the first week of the truce will be crucial. During that time, all fighting between the military of President Bashar Assad and rebels is to stop. But Assad's forces can continue airstrikes against the Islamic State group and al-Qaeda-linked insurgents from the group once known as the Nusra Front. So we'll see what actually goes on here. I don't have an awful lot of faith in it, but if they can stop for the week, now that would be a good sign, I think. Absolutely. Well, let's give us some more Trump stuff. How about quiet for once? Trump's restraint demonstrates a new discipline. You know what? As Hillary Clinton waded through the most perilous stretch of her campaign to date, the GOP presidential nominee held his tongue, allowing amateur footage of his foe stumbling after falling ill to play over and over on TV without his commentary. The episode underscored a new political reality. After more than a year of off-the-cuff comments and chaotic cleanup, Trump's campaign seems to have found its footing. Over the past 4 weeks, with new leadership team in place, Trump has largely done away with his freewheeling rallies, replacing them with teleprompter-guided speeches. While he is by no means a typical candidate, he derisively referred to Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas and questioned the integrity of the FBI and Department of Justice during a morning show call-in on Monday. He has nonetheless refined many of his campaign's rougher edges. He's trying to broaden his appeal and win over the moderate and independent voters that he'll need if he hopes to win. Well, he's got to do something, that's for sure. That's just the way it's going to be, right? Well, how about this? Big Food's biggest trend. Well, crusading against big food. Gathered for a free musical festival, a crowd awaits to see one of the headline attractions, an exhibit about fast food ingredients. On display, beakers of powders and liquids that purportedly go into what is clearly meant to look like a McDonald's hamburger. Just below are leaves and spices that Chipotle says make up its burrito. As pop bands perform nearby, other festival goers play an online game fighting a galactic battle against artificial ingredients. Chipotle cultivates festivals escapulate the food industry's hottest marketing trend, crusading against big food. While the burrito maker still struggles to recover from an E. coli outbreak last year, its previous success in presenting itself as a reformer has led companies big and small to follow suit as they seek part of the $256 billion that Americans spend on fast food each year. But some are positioning themselves as advocates for change before accomplishing some health goals, and skeptics say even well-intentioned marketing can be a disingenuous way to help people rationalize overeating. Well, the message is aimed at those who feel the established food system is to blame for poor eating habits and tries to engage them to feel like allies rather than customers. Yeah, go figure. Go try. That's just another marketing ploy. It doesn't have your best interests in heart. I can guarantee you that. That's just the way it is. Well, there's a mosque where Orlando gunmen worshiped is set on fire. The mosque that Orlando nightclub gunman Omar Mateen attended was heavily damaged in an arson fire that Muslim leaders said was the latest incident in an escalating campaign of harassment and violence against the house of worship and its members. Given the timing, Sunday's 15th anniversary of 9/11 and the start of the Muslim holiday, Eid al-Adha, investigators believe that the blaze that broke out shortly before midnight Sunday at the Islamic Center for the Fort Pierce may have been a hate crime. Now, St. Lucie County Sheriff's spokesman, Major David Thompson, said no one was injured. The fire burned a 10 by 10 foot, 3 by 3 meter hole in the roof at the back of the mosque's main building and blackened its eaves with soot. Well, you know what? That's enough of that kind of stuff. Don't you just wish we had good news instead of bad news? Well, I'm going to give you some good news when we come back from this commercial break. We're going to talk about, the IRS loses. And the first case up is the issuance of a Form 1099 does not prove that the income was ever paid. And I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages. We got a lot of great show for you. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And I want you to know that at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 84 degrees, it says now, but it's on its way to 58, and that'll be really nice. It's a beautiful day outside. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in New York City, well, I'll tell you what, it's 72 degrees and it is clear. If you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 90 degrees and it's scattered clouds and it is humid. So, go give that a little bit of a try. But right now, let's talk about the IRS loses. And our first case is the issuance of a Form 1099 does not prove that the income on that 1099 was ever paid. Eric Allman worked on a construction job for Albert McMickle at $12.50 an hour from mid-November until early January. And McMickle then filed a 1099 saying that he had paid $3,497 to Altman. When the IRS tried to collect tax on that amount, Altman protested that he had been paid no more than $1,800. The dispute went to tax court, and this is what the court's decision was. A 1099 does not by itself prove payment of income. Here, Altman credibly testified that he had worked 35 hours a week and took time off for Thanksgiving and Christmas, leading to that $1,800 number. Now, the IRS produced no evidence supporting the larger number, so Altman's lower number is accepted. You know what? That's the way it's supposed to be. How about this? Here's the case that the IRS conceded. Now, you've heard me say it many times. The IRS only concedes when they're pretty sure that they can't prevail in court. And that's what's happening here. In this case, it's amounts paid into an IRA are considered to be restorative and not excess contributions. Here's the case. A woman's IRA was depleted when her investment advisor made improper investments for it and made personal use of her IRA funds. When the wrongdoing was discovered, she sued him, his employer, and related parties. Now, the suits and threatened suits resulted in her receiving awards and settlement amounts, and she deposited them into her IRA. She then asked the IRS for a ruling that these were not prohibited excess contributions to her IRA. So this is what the IRS said. The payments compensated for loss of the IRA value due to wrongdoing. So they are restorative and not a subject to criminal contribution limits. So that's what's going on. Well, let's see. How about this one? The IRS loses. A yacht captain is entitled to the foreign earned income exclusion. Now, I'll tell you how important this is a little bit later, but here's the case. Myron Struck was captain of a private yacht that sailed primarily in foreign waters. Now, he owned a house in California, claimed a property tax homeowner's exemption for that house, and kept bank accounts and a driver's license in California. When Struck claimed the foreign earned income exclusion for his salary, the IRS said that he had no tax home abroad, so he wasn't qualified for it. He went to court to get some satisfaction. This is what the judge said. Struck lived on the yacht and rented out the home in California, so he did not have a home in the United States. The yacht's log showed that he was in foreign waters for 330 days during the year, so he meets the tax code's requirement and receives the exclusion. By the way, just so that you get an idea of how important this is, that means that he gets to exclude from paying tax on $97,500. Yep, gets it tax-free. Now, that is a big deal. Yeah. Well, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with this other segment that we call Inside the IRS. Just a little bit like, the Twilight Zone. Well, these are not tax court cases, but these are positions that the IRS has taken that you can actually use to your benefit. It's, knowledge is dangerous. It's really important and it's very, really valuable. And so let's talk about this for a minute. You ever wonder how the IRS agents determine that you've not reported all of your income? Well, I can tell you, a common method that the IRS uses is to simply add up all of the deposits in your bank and brokerage accounts during the year. The presumption is that all deposits represent income unless you can establish that the money came from a gift or a loan. Now, a revenue agent will also review credit card and bank loan statements to determine if payments made during the year to reduce the balance were made from sources other than your bank accounts. So there's a trap here, though. The agent may want to visit your home to determine if there's new appliances, furniture, and to take a look at your wardrobe. They want to know was unreported cash used to purchase these items. The safest bet is the IRS must obtain a search warrant, which never happens in a civil case. So do not give a revenue agent permission to tour your home ever without that search warrant. You're not going to get it. Well, how about this? Tax-exempt organizations and the politics. Well, to enjoy the benefit of being a tax-exempt organization, for example, a religious institution or a school, an organization is prohibited from participating in or intervening in any political campaign on behalf of or in opposition to any candidate for public office. Now, in reality, tax-exempt organizations have been actively supporting or working against certain politicians. The IRS has been under pressure from Congress to do something about this abuse. However, guidance recently issued in a revenue ruling explains that voter education is permitted as long as it is not biased. Well, where does one end and the other begin? That's the problem that sits here. You never know. there's no question it gets abused. And it looks like there's a loophole here for these exempt organizations to get by with it. And they're going to continue to get by with it as long as people listen. The biggest thing is you still have to make up your own mind. You got to listen to all sides and all things. And you know what? And use your best judgment. Use your judgment based on not what's best for the world or what's best for the country, but what's best for you. If everybody votes on what's best for them individually, the outcome will be precisely what we need it to be. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to be with our John Matthews and Joe Hakos in our semi-weekly simulcast that we do with them for the Conservative Syndicate. So we'll be right back. Don't go away, folks.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. John Matthews.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. Well, we're waiting for John to call in with Joe for our simulcast. I want you to know that at 3:34 p.m. Pacific time, currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Paris, France, it's 73 degrees and it's clear. And in Rome, Italy, it's 68 degrees and it's also clear there. That's fantastic weather, right? Well, John and Joe will be calling in any minute here. They're about a minute. No, actually, they're about 10 seconds. I guess they'll be calling in. That's when they're supposed to. It's always a good time for us. It's difficult sometimes to coordinate the call in to make sure that we're both getting it, because we all have our breaks at different times and in different amounts. So we have to kind of just clear the air and ad-lib a little bit while we're waiting for that to happen. Don't forget, though, later on in our show, we'll be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. And today's story is going to be, it's an anthem for the Emmy, and I'll tell you all about that later this afternoon. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned for us when we're doing that. Anyway, we should be getting a call from John just about any second now. I know he confirmed earlier that we were going to be on time, so we'll see what actually happens with that. He's got to get past his commercial breaks, and sometimes they run a little late sometimes. So we'll see what's going on. Here he is right now. We're with John Matthews and Joe Hakos in the Conservative Syndicate.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, John. How you doing?
We're doing just great over here. I was wondering, what's on your plate today?
What's on my plate? I'll tell you what. I've got crab pinwheels. I've got some ribeye steaks. I've got some beautiful Chateauneuf de Pape red wine. Other than that, I've been hoping that I don't get pneumonia and that I don't overexert myself.
We'll just end the show now and head over to your place for dinner.
Well, that'd be easy for you to do, John, but I think for Joe, it's the dinner's going to be cold by the time he gets here.
Well, we can put in one of those survival kit freeze bags and send it to him or something.
You know what? The worst thing I could hear from Joe right now is that he's a vegetarian after all that.
No, I'm a member of PETA. People eating tasty animals.
Oh, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to plagiarize that, Joe. I got to tell you.
Well, the big thing with us today, Bob, is the full gauntlet of conspiracies out there regarding Hillary Clinton's health.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing I don't understand. Let's just assume that everything is the way that it's being reported as far as from her campaign office. And let's just say that she was at first feeling a little under the weather and a little tired from campaigning and all those things, and she had a little cough. And then that she was then early on Friday diagnosed with walking pneumonia. What I don't understand is, why on earth does she feel like she's got to cover everything up? Why not just tell us? It's not like that's a big catastrophic thing. A lot of people get that. Why this need to cover everything up? I don't get it.
Well, I think it is her paranoia. I think the woman is paranoid. I think she thinks, she's going into this thing. I believe this. This is just my take on it. Now, and I want Joe to comment on this too, because Joe has some good thoughts on this kind of stuff. My take is she was told in 2008 that she would be next in line if she would just keep her mouth shut and support Barack Obama. At the time, the one thing missing on her resume, the one thing that was thrown at her the most during the primary in 2008 was she had no foreign policy experience. So she takes a job, Secretary of State, to fill that bill. Of course, she's an utter failure at it. And so now the time comes along, and it's kind of like, in the beginning, it looks like, well, we're not really sure we want Hillary out there because the scandals are starting to hit again. But we promised this to her. Okay. And that was it. She was pushed into the race and allowed to win. And the superdelegates and everything else was rigged to give it to her because this was payback. This was payback for keeping her mouth shut about Barack Obama. Okay. Mm-hmm. And now what's happening is the Democrats got to be sitting in a corner somewhere going, my God, if this gets any worse, what are we going to do? And like, as part of the gambit out there, I'm hearing that there's operatives out there now trying to leak to the press. And see, when things get leaked to the press, there's a reason for it. So everything that we have to look at is, what is the strategy behind this? What is the strategy of hiding Hillary Clinton's sickness? Well, because she's a pathological liar. You can't tell the truth when you don't know what the truth is. Well,
here's the thing, and you're absolutely right. And the problem that I have is that, actually not a problem. When you look at what's going on the polls, and I know that neither one of us hold an awful lot when it comes to the polls as far as the accuracy is going. But what I am seeing is that Donald Trump is really closing that gap that she got from the national convention that Hillary had. She had a 12% gap. Now that gap has narrowed quite a bit to where it's an even race as far as what's going on. From everybody I can listen to, this race is going to be won by whoever picks up those 4 battleground states. That looks like totally possible that Trump could do that. And so I think that they're a little worried. And I think the reason that Hillary's resistance is down is because she's having to work extra hard because she didn't realize she was going to have to campaign against somebody that really had a chance for the White House.
Yeah, well, I think in one regard, I think it's all about the polls are being played now. It's being closed because that's what gets people attention in the media. That they got to make it a close race to the sensationalize. I'm sorry, boy, my mouth is not working today. Sensationalize the headlines, but Joe can tell you better because he's been watching what's going on down there in Trump. Our gauge is what? Our gauge is the attendance at Trump rallies versus the attendance at Clinton rallies. Isn't that right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. The Trump rallies are overflowing. You got people, they sign up to go to these rallies, and you get there and they let the people in, and there's thousands of people left outside because they just don't have room for them in these they're not holding these rallies in small venues. I mean, they're holding in places where they do hockey games and that kind of stuff. So these are actual arenas, and they're just the one here was last Friday over here in Pensacola, and it was standing room only. Around the section between the upper and lower sections was standing room only there. And the fire marshals, I'm sure it was like going, hey, you can't let any more people in here.
Well, Joe, maybe you can answer this for me because I just don't understand it, never been able to understand it. When they do these polls, first of all, I don't think they're talking to all the people that are at these rallies, number one. Number two, I don't think I understand the difference between a registered voter and a likely to vote voter. It seems to me that if you registered to vote, you're kind of likely to vote, aren't you?
Yeah, I would think you're set up more than the person that's likely to vote. But then again, that's what Hillary and her friends are like. Well, we don't want you to have an ID to vote, and because how does she? But it's everybody's right to be able to vote, and that's what they strive for. And it's like, no, why don't you strive for making sure that everybody's vote, the integrity of that vote, is what matters?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Well, the simple answer is, Bob, you've got 3 classes of voters out there. You've got adults, which is a lot of the liberal polls just use adults. Okay, and the thing you have to know is they've cut the number that they poll. It used to be back in 2012, the polls were hitting anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 people. Now they're hitting 500 or less. And now what they're doing is you say, okay, adults. If we just want a general number that we can throw out there that kind of gives us a trend of what the public paradigm is, and we just ask adults. Registered voters are people that are on the books that have registered but have not necessarily voted. Where likely voters are people that they've been able to determine have voted in past elections recently, and therefore they're likely to show up. That's how they put it all down.
So these polls are not in no way representative of what the American people are really planning to do.
Not really, because the one thing they're missing right now, they're not polling the new people. They're not polling the Trump supporters, and they're not polling the Bernie Sanders supporters.
Yeah,
they're pulling these names and numbers out of their data banks that go back to George Washington, and so the data to me is completely just out of whack. But when, as Joe was saying, he's had some Trump rallies going on down there in the last few weeks down there in Florida, and he's telling me, man, these things are packed, they're overflowing. You go to a rally at Hillary Clinton in Cleveland. There's 300 people in a high school gym, and they've masked off half the building and set the cameras to make it look like there's more people there.
Well, I'll tell you what I think what Trump should do. He ought to do the same thing that Gary Johnson did. He ought to say he doesn't know what Aleppo is, because Gary Johnson got a 3-point bump when he did that.
Well, that's because probably 90% of the public doesn't know what Aleppo is.
Yeah, well, I'm on Joe's camp with that. I thought it was a dog food.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, you feed your dog this, he's going to get all better.
Yeah, and if he'd been smart, he should have. If I was Gary Johnson, and I could have done this because I can think like this on my feet. I want to say Aleppo. Is that ready, like for the shovel-ready jobs?
Like, you mean like they fed Rin Tin Tin?
Yeah. I would have made some comment about, he had, I still think Gary Johnson has the best quotes, best soundbite of anything I've ever heard in a debate. That Barack Obama doesn't. My neighbor's got more shovel-ready jobs with his dogs than Barack Obama. And I thought, I would have played off of that. Aleppo. Does that have to do with the foreign job fair? We can discourage people that want to join ISIS over in the Middle East. We'll have job fairs over there, and we'll give them shovels for shovel-ready jobs, and we'll give them free Aleppo.
Yeah. You know what? We could give all of these people, ready-made jobs. Just have them go out there and canvass these unexploded mine places from World War II. Did you hear that there was like 80 million unexploded mines?
Yeah, well, that could be, but I put so little regard in the polls right now, just basically because I think what the polls are trying to do right now is they're trying to stir up some kind of interest for the purpose of their papers and their websites. I don't even think the polls really have that much to do with the election. Now,
well, John, here's the thing, and you hit the nail on the head. Think about who actually does these polls. It turns out to be, it's the Wall Street Journal poll, it's the CNN poll, it's the MSNBC poll. It's all these polls from all these media organizations that need to create news, their own brand of news, because it's not real news, it's not objective at all.
No, and I've noticed that most of the polls actually, and even Fox News, tend to skew towards whatever issues a particular media outlet is trying to push.
Yeah.
The Wall Street Journal tries to push the economy thing. The MSNBC, they try to push the social issues. Fox, they try to, make everybody look like an idiot. So just the way it goes. Hey guys, we got to take a quick break here.
Okay, we'll be back. And the rest of you folks, do not go away. We'll be back after these brief messages with John Matthews and Joe Hagels.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're just getting ready to come back to our simulcast with John Matthews and Joe Hagels. I want you to know at 3:49 p.m. Pacific time, currently still 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, it's 72 degrees and it is clear. And in Vienna, Austria, it's also 72 degrees and it is clear. That's the way it's got to be. Well, Joe and John will be calling back into us any moment now, and we're going to continue our conversation about conservative politics and what's going on with the polls and the bias to media, and that's what's going on. We're back with John and Joe right now.
Okay, you there, Bob?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so I got to thinking. You know why Gary Johnson got a bump for saying what he did, because he immediately came out and addressed it and said, "Hey, I blew it."
And he did do that. He admitted it. You know what? He didn't. Everybody thought it was such this big crucifiable error that he made, and all he did was tell the truth. And the truth is he probably did know what Aleppo was. He just got confused under the gun. You know, when it was like 5 against 1 when he went through that interview, and and the guy just went blank. You ever draw a blank? I know I do once in a while, but I attribute it to my age. But I draw a blank once in a while. The one thing that Gary Johnson did do, hey, he admitted it. He blew it.
Yeah, he didn't play around. He says, fair enough. I should have got that. I didn't. Okay. And people listened to that and probably went, wow, here's a guy with some integrity.
Yeah.
Okay. He may be dumb as a box of rocks, but at least he got some integrity,
It's too bad, but he doesn't have a chance.
Well, the thing was, it was a gotcha question. If he'd have been asked, can you tell us about what would you do about the refugee crisis in Syria?
Yes.
He would have got that question, but he asked about Aleppo.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, we're going to get him on this. And they were, and you can tell by the way the individual asked the question. And then he said, you're kidding, right? And he knew he had him. It's like, oh, and I'm glad Johnson owned up to it. But if he'd asked the question a different way, it would have been fine. But I guarantee you go out there and ask one half of Hillary Clinton's supporters, and I guarantee none of them will know what Aleppo is either.
Well, what's more serious than that? I mean, and I really think that was a legitimate thing. I just think every once in a while you have, what they call one of those brain things, right?
But you just do it though. That's the good thing. He owned up to it, and that's that.
Yeah. You know what? I bet you could go to any number of colleges around the United States today, even in NYU or anywhere else, and ask what's the name of the Secretary of State, or what's the name of the Secretary of Defense, or what's the name of our vice president? And I'll bet you that the majority of those students couldn't tell you.
Oh, well, we've seen evidence of that. You've just watch a Bill Waters thing.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was headed with it. I just couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, and we've seen it. There's been a lot of people that have done that. You go out, I've seen videos from different people that go out and do that. You go out and you ask somebody a question about, I remember watching one I just found particularly funny on Independence Day, where the guy went out and asked this woman, he said, what year did the United States secede from China? And here's the thing, Bob, she tried to answer it.
Do you remember Groucho Marx, John?
Yeah,
Groucho Marx had this deal. He'd get somebody on this quiz show, and they were just just a can short of a 6-pack, most of them. And he wanted them to go home with some kind of money. So he would ask some of these people, "Who is buried in Grant's tomb?" And the majority of them couldn't answer it.
Well, the thing that got me, when I heard the question, I was chuckling, but then she tried to answer it. The United States seceded from China in 1976.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm thinking, okay, there you go. Oh, yeah.
It never ends, I'll tell you. I'm just, there's part of me that says, I love these conversations that we have twice a week, because on Mondays, we get off the air and I start wondering about what one of these 2 people or 3 people are going to do that is going to give us food for fodder for Friday, right? And then on Friday, I leave the show thinking the same thing over the weekend. What's going to happen that's going to give me food for fodder for Monday?
Well, I used to joke about it. If I had to choose my career over, I would choose to be a weatherman, because I don't know any other profession where you get paid so much money for being wrong more than 50%. But now I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to be a writer for Saturday Night Live, because there's so much material now.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much more material, and it would be, and I know any of us would be shades above the people that got writing for that show now. I back in the days of Aykroyd and Belushi, I wouldn't gone toe to toe with those guys. But today, I could be coming off a 7-day alcohol binge and using cocaine every 5 minutes to stay awake and do better.
You know what? Unfortunately. And you know what? And they've got more material today than what they had then to work with.
Well, it's because now the show has become about, promoting the celebrity of the person rather than the comedy itself.
Yeah.
Now it's Saturday Night Live is a launching pad to get you out there in the movies or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
it's very similar to politics, isn't it, John?
Yeah. Gee, what a coincidence.
Yeah. Anyway, we got 535 people in Congress, and then we've got Congress and the Senate, and then we've got the executive branch, and we've got the Supreme Court, the judicial branch, and they all have the same goal, just to popularize themselves. Got nothing to do with helping the United States.
Well, that just takes care of Homeland Security because they're not there to do that, or the TSA. They're definitely not trying to be popular.
Yeah.
And all of them could work for Saturday Night. All of them could work for Saturday Night Live because the only skill you have to have now is to be able to read off a teleprompter.
Yeah,
so that's it. Hey, we're out of time here, Bob. I wanted to give you a moment to promote your show.
Okay, listen, I air every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. And then on Mondays and Fridays, I'm also on with John and Joe on our simulcast, and they're also on with me at the same time. And the easiest way to listen to my show, go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com. Everything is right there, and I'm going to encourage you to please get my app. You can get it for any kind of a machine you have, and it's absolutely free. Just go to your app store, search Robert Cardoza Live. You can listen to me live if I'm broadcasting live, or listen to me at your convenience, and that's what we want you to do. In the meantime, you guys stay safe, stay happy, and chuckle every time you hear Hillary Clinton say something.
That's hard to do in between throwing up.
All right, guys, have a good one. We'll talk to you on Friday.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Now, the rest of you folks, do not go away. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be with John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, and we'll be talking about, yep, you guessed it, food and wine. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000. 5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hanson.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 84 degrees on its way to 57 degrees. That'll be nice, but it's a beautiful day no matter where you are in Southern California. And you happen to be in listening to us on our globally syndicated network, and you're in Madrid, Spain. Well, it's 81 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, it's 76 degrees with thunderstorms. Where would you rather be? I guess so. But you know what? Right now, get ready, sit down, pour yourself a nice glass of red or white or rosé wine, whatever you got there, and strap yourself in because we're going to be with our own John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. Hey, John, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, great, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was incredible. You know, football's back. Probably my favorite sport there is. And that Sunday, actually, Ray and I, you know, for the first time in a long time, did absolutely nothing but sit down, watch football. We had pizza, cheese sticks, popovers, nothing but just bad food for you. But we had the best time. What a great week if you're a football fan.
So, John, I want to know that after all of that, did you guys wind up going down to Nordstrom's and buying a new wardrobe because you didn't fit into the old one?
Well, you know, for dinner we just had a salad because we couldn't eat anymore.
So your drink of choice, were you drinking wine while you were watching the game, or were you drinking beer, or were you drinking cocktails? What?
Well, you know, Raina did a little Latina mix here. So, I mean, we had nachos as well. So we actually, we started off with mimosas early because, you know, we wanted to watch the pregame, you know, at 9 or so. And the first game started at 10. So we were doing mimosas. But then we switched, actually, believe it or not, to margaritas. And then by the time we had dinner with just a little salad, we had a little wine. But that was it. Of course, we went to bed early because we were so fatigued from just eating and drinking all day. But we did absolutely nothing but just relax. And my God, it was, you know, we went to bed and Raina gave me a kiss. She goes, my God, she goes, thank you for an incredible day. That was so much fun.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a redo.
Well, we haven't done that in so long. We've been just so busy with so much. You know, Raina starting 2 schools, myself going back to work, you know, the properties. You know, there's always something coming up. And we just looked at each other on Sunday morning and said, listen, we're going to do nothing. That's it. We're just going to watch football and have a great time. And what a week. There was 4 one-point games. Wow. Games determined just in the last second or so by 1 point. There was like 2 or 3 2-point games. I mean, there was really no blowouts. I think that the highest discrepancy was like 19 points or so. So there wasn't like a really blowout game. Everything was just incredible. The outcome wasn't always in our favor, but it was fun.
Is Raina as much into football as you are?
Oh, yes. I mean, I tell you, that's one of the reasons why I married her. I mean, we have so much in common.
Well, then here's the biggest question. Do you guys both like the same teams?
Well, this is hilarious. Okay. Now, growing up in New York, I'm a diehard Met fan. You know, I went to the World Series last year because they went to the World Series. You know, I'm a big Knicks fan. I do like the Lakers, but I'm a Knicks fan. Mm-hmm. Ranger fan. Hockey. Football, I mean, I like the Jets and Giants, but the Rams have always been my team. Now, growing up, you know, back east in the 60s and 70s, for the AFC team, I became a Steelers fan because they like the underdogs. You know, the Raiders like the bad boys, and you know, Dolphins were always there. But the Steelers were kind of like the working man team, the underdogs, and they became dominant. So on the AFC, I've always was like a little Steelers fan. Well, Raina grew up in L.A., of course, and she used to go to the Rams games. So she was somewhat a Ram fan, but her favorite team has always been the Steelers. So her favorite team is the Steelers. Her second favorite team is the Rams. My favorite team is the Rams. Probably my second favorite team is the Steelers. So we go to Steeler-Ram games. And today, Bob, who's playing? The Steelers are playing the Redskins the first game, and the Rams are playing the Niners the second game. So we got another incredible day. She's getting off early. She should be home any minute now before the game starts. So, and I do apologize if I do scream or something in the middle of the show. Because I have the TV on mute here, and the game's about to start. So if I do seem occupied or yell something, I do apologize to the listeners.
That's not a problem at all. Now, I want to know what you have in your hand.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now I have a glass of rosé. Okay. So you know what? Yeah, you actually drink a lot more rosé than I would have ever thought you would, but you really like rosés. Especially from Provence, the French rosés are just amazing. As I said, not high in alcohol, but just refreshing. And they go with so many different things. What I'm doing now, what I did, I made like a little bruschettas. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, rosé with bruschettas. Oh my gosh, just little tomato, basil, this, that, and little toast points, So when Raina gets home, I got the TV on in the living room for her. So when she walks in the door, she has a little glass of rosé and some bruschettas to enjoy until I get done with the show.
Hey, John, do you have an herb garden at home, or do you go out and buy fresh herbs?
I have a little garden window that I do grow cilantro, basil, and so forth, but that usually gets picked away or dies out. So, I do go out and buy stuff, but yeah, I do have a little herb section.
Well, I had, you know what? I'm that typical guy with the white thumb. That just means that everything I try to grow dies and goes to plant heaven. Nothing seems to work for me. So whatever I'm going to cook or whatever I'm going to do, I've got herbs in the refrigerator, but I find it difficult to find, good fresh herbs.
Well, and there's nothing like, everything, freshly picked, whatever, tomatoes, peppers, whatever. And, everybody I work with, of course, Philippe has his own little garden area. He gets his heirloom tomatoes. He has, squash. He just gave me a little fig jam. He has a fig tree that he made 30 little jars of fig jam with, and incredible.
Oh, I got to say, you know what? Marlene and I, we love cheeses, and we'll just have a cheese platter, and we love the fig preserves to put with the cheese. Oh yeah. Man, and nuts, maybe some chopped walnuts with that. Holy mackerel! I
tell you, you see it in restaurants
and wine.
I've never gone to like somebody's house and I had figs. Figs are amazing. Everybody go out and get figs.
Oh yeah.
Black mission figs or brown Turkish figs, whatever. They're incredible. They can be sweet. They're just amazing little things to have.
Yeah. Matter of fact, just as a fruit, just eating the fig ripe is phenomenal. It doesn't even have to be prepared. It's just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Great. It's kind of like a thing that gets looked over all the time. And it's a shame because they are amazing. You can have them for desserts, you can have them for appetizers, you can have them for anything. And they are amazing. They're just amazing. And it's too bad. It's just too bad because it's one of the things that I love. And, a lot of my friends, they love figs too. And they have fig trees in their backyard. And there's nothing like freshly picked herbs, vegetables, fruits.
Yeah, the only thing I seem to be able to grow is rosemary. I think you could grow rosemary in the desert and it would grow.
I think you grow that for your rabbit problem.
Yeah, I did. Matter of fact, we actually used it as a ground cover in our planters because we had a huge rabbit problem, and so and rabbits have an aversion to rosemary, so they go away, right? And the rosemary was beautiful out there,
Mm-hmm. Well, I love lavender, rosemary, and thyme on my lamb. I know you're a big lamb fan.
Yeah.
Hey, you ever get that lamb you're looking for?
Oh yeah. The lamb I had no problem with.
Okay.
Yeah, the lamb. No, I take it back. I'm sorry. Oh, the duck I have no problem with. Lamb I've got a problem with. I found some. I couldn't get it through the source you gave me because they're strictly wholesale. But I did find some online, and but by the time I got it and got it here the way I wanted, I'm just as well off to go over to a Costco or to go to a Sprouts or a place like that and buy it there. They get it all prepared, and I wind up saving money for some really nice choice cuts rather than have to pay all the shipping and all the rest of the stuff going on.
Exactly, and it's funny we came up with this topic because it is such a world of difference. Once again, I do not promote Costco. My son does work for Costco, but I do not promote Costco. But what a great place to get your meat.
Hey, I got to tell you, not just meat, seafood. I bought halibut steaks at Costco that were just, John, phenomenal. Matter of fact, I've got to have you and Rena back again. I've got this recipe for halibut that'll just knock your socks off. Just unbelievably good.
Is it in parchment paper?
No, this one, no, not this one. Yeah, you're right. Rena might not eat it.
I know, you ruined her for life. Yeah. She puts everything in parchment paper now for some reason.
Well, you know what?
Incredible.
When she tastes this one, John, she'll do it both ways.
Excellent. I'm trying to get her away from the paper. I mean, it's great for certain things, but you can't cook everything in parchment paper.
No. But the nice part about that, though, is you can put your vegetables in there and the seafood and stuff. Put them all, and it's all, and it comes, and you just open up it winds up being your dish. It's your presentation. It's really pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's a world of difference because you think about it, Bob. You go to a supermarket. That produce can be traveling for 14 days before it even gets to the supermarket.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane how fresh is actually the fruit, your vegetables, fruit, even your meats that you buy in the supermarket. How long have they been there? Just a traveling time. As I said, that's what Costco, the wholesaler. They have their own butchery right there. I mean, they're cutting the meat right and back, and they put it out on certain days. And that's what you do. You find out what day they put out the meat. You go there and get it fresh. It was just cut from the butcher. And what a difference in flavor and taste. I mean, same thing, freshly picked. Go to the farmer's market that the produce just came in that day, and then enjoy dinner. And what a world of difference. It's night and day.
Yeah.
It's night and day. It's funny because back in 95, I was maitre d' of the year from the Callow restaurant, and one of the main things that really that they decided to give me the award, the distinction of maitre d' of the year, was the Caesar salad. And they go, why is your Caesar salad so good? And it was like, because we get the produce is fresh. Everything. The anchovies are fresh. We don't get a paste. We muddled the fresh anchovies in the bowl. And I used the little pepper as something that's coarse to help muddle the anchovies. Mm-hmm. The acidity from the fresh lemon broke up the anchovies as well. So you made your paste from fresh anchovies, and it made just the flavor right there.
Well, the thing about fresh anchovies is the truth is most people, they wrinkle their nose at it, but they wouldn't even, if you didn't tell them that it was there, they wouldn't even know it.
Oh, well, then that's it. You certain things you don't tell. They wouldn't just eat it as is. Nobody's just going to eat a raw anchovy. Some people do that, love anchovies. Yeah. But I mean, hey, would you like a raw anchovy? No, I'm fine. But that is the main ingredient in your Caesar salad. And what a world of difference if you get a can that's been who knows how long it's been sitting on the shelf.
Well, there's a reason it's in a can, John.
Exactly, Bob. So I mean, from something that's fresh and you just muddle right there. Makes a world that freshly grated off the block, or you go buy the cheese that's been in the supermarket that's been grated for how long? It's a world of difference. And that's the big difference from cooking. This guy's just so much a better chef than I am. No, it's not. He uses fresh ingredients, and you use store-bought products.
Yeah.
And that's why we go to the restaurant. The food's so much better in the restaurant. It must be the chef. Well, they're using fresh products, and you're not. It's a world of difference right there. Yeah, they know how to cook better, probably, but the main difference is just in the freshness of your food.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the secret of cooking, ladies and gentlemen. I just blew all the chefs out of the water. They're going to hate me for life. Just go out, pick the freshest ingredients you can, and you are fine.
Absolutely. You know what? In season reasonably. When I cook, most of the people that I'm serving don't need to re-season their food. I've been tasting it at every step, and I do layers of flavor. I'm sure you do the same thing. I do layers of flavor. If I have a complex dish that's going in, every time I put a new ingredient in, I re-season and I re-taste it to make sure it's going the way I want it to go.
Oh, absolutely. And every little thing, I'm always tasting it. Because there's so many factors in cooking. I mean, one is temperature. You're reducing something. Yeah. You got to know when to stop, because if you reduce it too much, there's going to be a difference in flavor. How much of this you put in, how much of that you put in. Everything matters. There's so many factors in cooking. If you have your heat up too high, you're going to burn it down, There's a lot of knowledge involved, and not to say that the chefs, they just buy fresh food and that's why they're good. There's a lot of training and knowledge involved to being a great chef.
Yeah, and technique. And the thing is, though, but home cooks, it's just a matter of the more you practice, the more you do things, the better you get at it.
Exactly. You know what to add. Like when you're making a sauce, take like a Béarnaise sauce. I remember a time I go, my God, this is incredible Béarnaise. How come it's not breaking? It's been sitting out here. and you confessed to me. I didn't make it.
That's right. Well, I made it. I just made it according to the instructions on the package.
But I'm like, going, how come this didn't break? What did you do? Wow, this is amazing. What is it? And because I know you always cook usually everything but there's also a time saving thing. You come home from work, you don't have 3 hours. The chefs are prepping 3-4 hours in advance before they open the door. You don't have 3-4 hours to prep for your dinner that evening. You get home at 6. You want to eat by like 6:30, 6:45.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So you got to find out the really good shortcuts around things.
And you know what? And you know what? And you hit the nail on the head. There are a lot of products out there. I mean, you can go out and you can buy store-bought Béarnaise or Hollandaise or Alfredo sauces and things like that. And the majority of them are kind of mediocre at best. But there are some good brands out there that you can get that are really, really good. But a lot of these sauces, they're really very simple to make. You just need time to do it and do it right. If you don't have the time, then find that reputable sauce that hits your home run every time you do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, what is amazing now, the gluten products out there. A lot of people have, they're sensitive to wheat and so forth, soy. It's called celiac disease. The people that do have the celiac disease, it's night and day. They can spend a horrible night if they eat something that has gluten in it. Some people just want to stay away from gluten, so they do. But the products that we're talking just 5 years ago. You used to get gluten-free bread 5 years ago. It was like eating cardboard.
Yeah.
Now, we at our restaurant, we have some of our regular guests come in and say, "Can we get the gluten-free bread?" Because they actually like it better than our regular bread, which is amazing. So things are coming a long ways that you can actually buy in the store. And there was a time, Costco, they have these mashed potatoes. We used to go, Raina always makes the potatoes. And we had all our friends say, "Wow, I don't know how do you make these potatoes?" And then she finally gave us a secret. She puts it in a microwave. It's from Costco.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Costco mashed potatoes are amazing. They're amazing. We add a little thing to it. We'll put a little cheese and something to it as well. So,
well, that's the secret. There used to be a show on the Food Network called, what the heck it was, Homemade, I think was the name of it. And basically it's taking products that are, they're okay, they're pretty good, but adding a few things to it that make it really, really nice and make it your own. And so, that's what a person has to do.
Put your own twist to it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, we got to take a break in 20 seconds. So what are we going to talk about when we come back? We're going to continue this story.
Well, we got a lot of our favorite local restaurants are going in. So we're going to mention what they have coming up. Specials and events coming up for some local restaurants. And actually, I just got a text too from a good friend that listens to the show every week, and they're having their barbecuing, watching the game. They want to know what wine to pair with it. So we'll talk about that too.
Okay.
We got a text coming in, okay?
That sounds good. We'll be right back with that little old winemaker, my good friend, John Hanson, after these brief messages. Don't go away. We've got a lot of great show left for you.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:23 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's gone down to 76 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Lisbon, Portugal, it's 70 degrees and mostly cloudy. If you're in Hong Kong, well, 81 degrees and partly cloudy. But you know what? If you're listening to the show, get ready because we have got some great news for you for, you know what? Let's just call it culinary experiences from our own little old winemaker, John Hanson. Hey, John, you got the microphone, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. We just got a text actually from one of our regular listeners. Actually, they were on the show a long time ago. They told this incredible story about a 1961 Porsche.
I remember them. Matter of fact, I hope to see them again in Las Vegas just 1 month from today.
I hope they're going. He's a hunter, and he said that he's going to try to get out of his little hunting trip to go because his wife Nikki is saying, I want to go to the Terra Roja thing. So hopefully they will be there in Vegas with us. But what a story that was. And they're actually home watching the games. The family's there watching the Steelers and Redskins now. And they're barbecuing, and he's barbecuing some salmon, asparagus, and bell peppers and squash. And he wants to know what wine to pair with that.
Forniente.
Yeah. Well, that's what Marlene would be drinking.
Yeah.
What I would do, now I don't know if you're barbecuing, putting like barbecue sauce in the salmon, or just grilling it. If you're just grilling the salmon, Eric, with that asparagus, bell peppers and squash, I would do a nice little Gruner Veltliner. I would go white with that Gruner Veltliner from Austria, probably from the Campbell or so. Gobelsberg's makes a nice Gruner Veltliner. Because you got that vegetal characteristics you get on an Australian Gruner Veltliners. Asparagus is so hard to pair. Basically, only Sauvignon Blanc and Gruner is the only two wines you can go with asparagus. But then you have the bell peppers and the salmon. And he is smoking the salmon. That's got another thing. He is smoking the salmon. So I would go Pinot Noir, believe it or not, because Pinot goes great with peas. It wouldn't be that bad with the asparagus, but with the smoke really coming off the salmon, like a Pinot Noir on heavy toast oak, they're out there. Mary Everett does one. There's some Pinots out there that you get that smoky characteristic off the Pinot. But as I said, that if you want to go ready, go Pinot. I think that'd be a beautiful pair with your dinner tonight. Save me a piece of salmon. I may drive down there after the first half just to enjoy that barbecue. That sounds really good. Really good. But Bob, also we support our local restaurants, and we have several that we like to we enjoy going to. Bistro Blue, one of them. We got to get the chef on. We got to get back down there and talk to them. I know they're closed on Mondays and Sundays, so we really can't do a show there on Monday. But maybe we can have the chef on his off day call in and talk about it, because I know it's my.
Well, you know, we could do that, or you know what, we could just go in there and record a show.
Yeah, if we can get the chef to come in, maybe cook for us on a Monday, that'd be awesome. Do the show there and really promote the place. Maybe do a special night where we're doing this radio show. People come in and enjoy a special little thing for whatever. We'll talk with the chef. We'll definitely get there. We'll have a lunch down there again someday and talk to the chef. And because I know it's one of Joey's favorite restaurants now. We'll probably have Greg Joey with us, of course, to do the show that evening.
Joey is still talking about that rabbit.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible. I mean, for the money and everything, if you like authentic French food, the location is probably the worst location I've ever seen in a restaurant, but what a diamond in the rough that restaurant is. So, of course, our old stamping grounds, the White House. From the 15th to the 18th, they're doing a scampi special. And it looks delicious on the website. But for $28, you have a shrimp scampi special. And they're also doing a special event on September 27th at 7 p.m. It's kind of like an art night where you can drink, dine, and actually paint. And, of course, all the proceeds goes to Bruno's Foundation and so forth. So, I mean, even if you don't like to, just go out and have some great food and some good drinks. It's for a good cause as well. So if you're available on the night at 7 p.m. on the 27th of September, definitely head out to the White House and have a fun evening. One of our old stamping grounds, every time we used to go up there, we used to have dinner at Fleming's. They're doing a special Monday night thing right now. It's a 3-course dinner for $49.95, where you get a starter, an entree, and dessert. Nice little and what a great restaurant that is too. And they probably usually have the game up towards the bar too if you want to watch Monday Night Football. Our good friends at Ways and Means, of course, Monday night, our favorite night, because it's $9.99 lobster. I don't know how they do it, but he tells me they don't make money absolutely on that thing. They actually lose a little bit of money. It's a lost leader. But they've been doing it for some time now. But they did actually change a couple of nights through the week. We've done their little venue through several shows, but Tuesday night is now a craft beer night, where it's kind of like Taco Tuesday. We do tacos and beer. Wednesday night is still the wine night, where it's half price on all the wines.
Wow.
And they have a nice little wine list. So if you want to buy something, somewhat expensive, say $100 bottle of wine, you're getting 50% off. So it's only $50 on Wednesday. So great deal. You want to go somewhere, have some great food, and have a nice bottle of wine. Thursday's also new. They have what they call Tiki Night, where you get tiki drinks for $6. But they also do a scallop special for $10. So you can get a nice little scallop dish and have some like tiki drinks. Pretend you're back at Trader Joe's or something.
That really sounds terrific.
Terrific. I'm sorry, I said Trader Joe's. On Friday, of course, you have that champagne and oyster combo where you can have Tat and J at $10 a glass. And then you get a half dozen of oysters for $10. That's only $1 something an oyster. You can't beat that anywhere. But one thing I also wanted to mention about Ways and Means was that Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to sunset, they do have a little special on drinks. If you enjoy martinis, it's only $6 a martini, gin or vodka. Or you get a bucket of beers for $20. We get 5 beers in a bucket for only $20. We can sit at the bar and watch the game if you like, and have a little fun, have some incredible food. And if you're in the food industry, it's always $2 oysters there. So go have a bucket of beers and have a couple dozen oysters and watch Monday Night Football or so. So great deals. And for football, hey, Domino's has any 2 items for $5.99. So you get a pizza, sandwich, whatever, or medium 2-topping pizza for like $8.99. So if you want to just sit back, relax, enjoy, and don't cook about anything, just have them deliver Domino's tonight, too. So you can always get around that way if you just want something, wholesome food.
Or you know what? We can give you John's address, and we can all show up there. He's got a wonderful wine list at his house, and he's going to be serving some kind of hors d'oeuvres during this show, or during the show. I was going to say during the football game.
Exactly. But before we run out of time, Bob, I didn't get to, the last couple of weeks, and of course, last weekend was a holiday, but we talked about my vacation, an Alaskan trip and so forth, and we very touched, we talked about the restaurants and stuff in Vancouver, which was one of the most incredible dining experiences I had. But what I was really impressed with was the British Columbian wines, especially the Okanagan Valley there. They were just amazing wines. And what I had, I mentioned last week we ate at Gotham Steakhouse, which was amazing. But we had this amazing Meritage. It was a 2013 consensus, and it was from Similkameen, and that is Similkameen. And it's pronounced Similkameen, okay? And I tell you, it was one of the most amazing wines. It was, you can get it for around $60 a bottle. There's somewhat of a low production on it. It's something new. They probably only make about 250 cases. But you had cassis, blueberry, blackberry, vanilla, big jammy fruit coming at you, nice long finish. And it was like, this is Canadian wine. It was amazing. It was our first night up there, and it just really blew me away. It was just incredible. But we also had, when we went to Miku sushi restaurant, we had a Black Hill Viognier from Okanagan Valley. That goes for about, you can probably buy it, if you can find it, around $20 a bottle. It's about 13% alcohol. But traditional New World Viognier, Fruit Loops. And that was funny because, through the Master Sommelier program, one of the problems I had was detecting New World Viognier. And one of the masters goes, come on, you got to be kidding me. Didn't you have Fruit Loops in the morning? And I put the glass to my nose, and it was Fruit Loops. It's like a bowl of Fruit Loops in front of you.
Really?
So, yeah, it's so easy now. Now I can just nail New World Viognier because of the mouthfeel. It's usually a rounder mouthfeel. There's going to be oak on it, usually 9 times out of 10. Usually maybe 10 times out of 10. But you do get that Fruit Loops and everything in New World Viognier. So now it came from one thing that I could never get to probably one of the easiest wines I can pick out now. But
so what do you do with sugar frosted flakes?
What was that? I haven't had a wine down yet from Lake Town yet. So if I do, Bob, I'll definitely let you know. Well, we did a Bordeaux blend. It was called Laughing Stock Vineyards from Okanagan Valley for about $27 a bottle. You can find it in stores, and just delightful wine. Just delightful wine. We had a Pinot Noir up there as well. It was called Foxtrot. And it was 2012 Pinot Noir. It was 13.7 alcohol, so it was getting up there in alcohol. But you got strawberry, raspberry, little rhubarb. You got that tea leaf, like whole cluster pressing. Reminds me of Dujac, Roussanne, and so forth from Burgundy, but with the beautiful fruit coming at you. Just incredible Pinot Noir. Black Hills, they also have what they call Nota Bene. It was a 2013. It was a red wine blend, the Bordeaux blend. And it's supposed to be one of the flagship wines that put Okanagan Valley on the map. And that was just simply wonderful as well. We were just so blown away. And for lunch, and, I talk so highly about Central Coast and Oregon whites, where you get that high acid, just beautiful high acid. You get a little terroir in there and so forth. And the Okanagan whites are the same thing. We had the Wild Goose, is from Majestic River, 2015 Pinot Blanc, and you see a lot of the Alsatian varietals up there as well. Pinot Gris. There's some Rieslings up there, but you get Pinot Blanc, you get Viognier up there as well. $14 a bottle. Great bottle of wine, very acid. We had a great lunch at Joe Forte's up there, and the wine was just part of the experience. It was just incredible. What else did we have? We had lunch. We went hiking kind of into the state park and a little place called the Tea House, and we had the Cedar Creek Pinot Gris from Okanagan Valley. And as I said, we had fish, light lunch, just incredible wines. And then the one wine we had at Hawksworth. Now, Hawksworth is rated the number 3 wine in Canada. Hawksworth is the number 3 restaurant in Canada. And the wine we had was Firehead Pinot Noir Cuvée. And it's the Pinot Cuvée. They do make just a regular Pinot. This is a blend of different, vineyards or blocks in a vineyard. About $35 a bottle in stores. And one of the best Pinots that we had. We tried several Pinots, but this particular one just really stood out the crowd, and that was amazing.
Well, John, we got 1 minute. Can you do a wine of the week?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go to that first one at the first evening we had at Dolphin Steakhouse, and do that Sonneau Camine Collective, that Meritage Blend 2003. It's called the Consensus. If you can find it anywhere, Okanagan Valley, it goes for about $60 a bottle. What a great experience if you like the nice Meritage blend, like if you like Opus One or something along those lines, Rubicon. All those wines are like Meritage blends. Try this one for only $60 a bottle. You will be very impressed with.
Wow. What do you like at Costco these days?
Costco these days. It's just the regular stuff now. I haven't seen anything that's come out, because it's strange, because I do go to like 3 or 4 different Costcos and look around, and I haven't really seen something that really caught my eye that just blew me away.
Have you ever been tempted because of your luck with some of the Kirkland brands, just picking one bottle of each of the Kirkland brands just to see?
No, I have tried all of them, and the 2 brands that I totally highly recommend, of course, is the Chateauneuf de Pape for $19.95. What a great Chateauneuf de Pape! For $20, you ain't going to get a Chateauneuf de Pape. You're just going to be like $50-some just for a regular. This is amazing Chateauneuf de Pape.
Yeah.
But the one that really blew my mind was the Chablis Premier Krug, Premier Krug Chablis, and the thing is, it's part Mount Maine and another Premier Krug vineyard. The Mount Maine is right next to all the Grand Krug vineyards. Corinthian soil. For the last 10 years, they're trying to elevate Mount Maine to Grand Krug status. Of course, all the other Grand Crugs are fighting it, but everybody else is for it. So maybe someday it will be Grand Krug status. So you get a wine that could possibly be Grand Krug status Chablis for $14.95 a bottle.
Wow.
You're looking at $80 a bottle everywhere else.
Wow.
So what an incredible try on Chablis, where you can get probably the most renowned Premier Krug vineyards for $14.
All right, my friend, it's that time. Listen, this has been a fantastic show. You can turn the volume up on your game now and cheer for whoever you want. Give a big hug and a kiss to that lovely wife of yours for me. And you and I got to talk later on this week about our upcoming trip to Vegas.
Sounds great. I'm taking the mute off the TV now, Bob. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take care and have a great week. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Okay.
All righty. The rest of you folks, stick around, because when we come back from this commercial break, we'll do the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and the interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back with a lot more great show right after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:43 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently going down 76 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's down from 82 degrees on its way to 58 degrees. That seems to change around a little bit going around. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Auckland, New Zealand, well, you know what? It's 61 degrees and it's clear. And in Sydney, Australia, it's 63 degrees and overcast. So, you know what? Not so bad. Looks like great weather all around the world going on here today. But right now, let's talk about the Harvard Business Tip of the day. And the management tip today is managing a cross-cultural team requires setting clear norms. So here's the deal. You know, managing a multicultural team really can be tough. Communication styles vary, and there may be differences in conventions around time, giving feedback and disagreeing publicly. To overcome these differences, set clear norms and stick to them. Start by taking into account what will work best for your team as a whole. Now, be aware that there may be team members who find it harder to meet certain expectations because of their cultural backgrounds. For example, if you have established that team members must arrive at meetings exactly on time, that's kind of the Western style, punctuality, right? You'll need to reinforce that norm consistently across the group and remind non-Westerners why being on time matters. Now, of course, sometimes things change and adjustment is required, but keeping a consistent, clear structure for work styles and expectations is a critical way to create a common ground team culture. So kind of keep that in mind as you do these kind of things. Well, you know what? It's time for our secret daily teaching for your life. And you know that I consider this all about a positive mental attitude. You really do control your entire life and everything that goes on it, and even sometimes the attitudes of the people around you. It's all about a positive mental attitude. You know what? When you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm going to have a productive, profitable, wonderful day. Because I decide if I'm going to be rich or poor, successful or a failure, if I'm going to be happy or sad, and how the people around me are going to feel. That's what you do with a positive mental attitude. Now, the teaching for today is whenever there is a stray negative thought that comes in, switch to feeling the love in your heart. Stay with that feeling in your heart until you can feel it flow all through you. Any negative thoughts will disappear. If you can practice this regularly, in a very short time, you'll be living the life that you really want in every area. As you magnetize the love in your heart, your whole life will change. I'm telling you, folks, this really, really works. Try it. You'll be glad you did. Yeah. Well, you know what today is. Sure you do. You know it's Monday. It's September the 12th, and it is somebody's birthday. Oh, yeah. You know what? We've got a number of birthdays today. Some you'll know, some you won't know. But I'll tell you what, the majority of them you will. And here's the one we've got for today. This fellow was born in 1944, passed away in 2003. A record producer and singer, songwriter, a five-time Grammy Award winner, known for his rich bass voice and romantic image. Referred to as the Sultan of Smooth Soul. Happy birthday, Barry White. Well, here's an actor, a guy that you may or may not know. He was born in 1951, an Emmy-winning film and television actor who's perhaps best known for his portrayal of Ralph Cifaretto on The Sopranos. Happy birthday, Joe Pantoliano. I guess that's how you pronounce it anyway. You know what? You ever wonder about what was going on today in history? Well, I'm about to tell you. On September the 12th, 1609, Henry Hudson discovers, can you guess? Sure, the Hudson River. Well, on today in 1959, premiere of Bonanza, the very first regularly scheduled TV program presented in color. Yeah, 1959. If you think about it, not that long ago. And in 1960, John Fitzgerald Kennedy avers that he does not speak for the Roman Catholic Church, and neither does the Church speak for him. That is how he won the presidency. Yeah. Well, you know what? Our quote for today comes from Socrates. Socrates says, "The unexamined life is just not worth living." That makes sense. It's pretty profound. Think about it. Well, you know what? It's time for us to give you those interesting but useless facts. Got a number of them. Hold on to your hat. We've got some good ones. Did you know the original design of Monopoly was circular? It wasn't square. It was circular board. And Leonardo da Vinci invented scissors. You know, it never fails to boggle my mind what some of these people have done. How about this? You know that at the beginning of the year 2001, all Canadian cigarette packaging will depict graphic images of rotting teeth and deteriorating organs? Yeah, that's why we live in the United States, not Canada, I guess. How about this one? Did you know that Horatio Nelson, one of England's most illustrious admirals, was throughout his life never able to find a cure for his seasickness? The man was perpetually seasick. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the admiral? Well, how about this? The turbofish lays approximately 14 million eggs during its lifetime. Wow. Now that is a lot of offspring. Well, let me leave you with this one. Coffee trees are usually found no more than 1,000 miles from the equator because they grow only in tropical and subtropical climates. Did you know that? Probably not. Well, you know what? I will give you one more. In 1984, a Canadian farmer began renting ad space on his cows. Now, we'll leave you with that little chuckle. Now, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. The story today, a great one, an anthem for the enemy. And I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:54 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's going down 76 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Torrance, California, well, it's 73 degrees and mostly cloudy. And you know what? If you're with our good buddy Sean LaFane and you're in Wichita, Kansas, well, you know what? God, is that right? It's got to be right. It looks like 96 degrees and mostly cloudy, which means humid. I mean, really humid. Well, you know what? It is time for us to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey. Sir, you know what? Paul Harvey is in the rest of the story, well, he's the biggest and best voice in America. You know, he actually reveals the startling heartbeats behind the headlines. Paul, one of America's favorite radio and television commentators, heard over 775 ABC radio stations and over 400 foreign stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in 300 newspapers. He was the recipient of numerous awards and honors, including 9 honorary degrees. He's on Gallup Poll's list of America's most admired men. Well, one of the biggest things he had was the rest of the story. His story today is an anthem for the Emmy. Well, war song? The two words themselves are somewhat in conflict with each other, and yet, for the sake of world culture, this is a type of music of stirring importance. Remember, our own national anthem is a war song of sorts. Anthropologists theorize that this was among the first music to be sung. Primitive people probably conjured their cult rituals with the war song, used it to accompany firing dancing. In ancient Greece, the songs of Tiresias were sung by Spartan warriors at their campfires. Still, other songs were used to harden the spirits of those about to enter battle. The words to many anthems of war are based on sound psychological principles. What could be more encouraging than the brave needs of forefathers or a victory predicted in music? By the end of the 15th century, army units began to have trumpeters, drummers, pipers attached to them. Their music supported the discipline of marching, the urge to battle. It was so in the American Revolution, too. You know, the songs we sang, but now you're going to hear about an enemy anthem, a rhyme for the Redcoats. Some say this British tune, or 2, 4, can be traced to a song of French vineyard workers. Others argue that it came from a Spanish word, dance, or a German harvest tune, or a Dutch peasant song. We're just not sure. But we do know that British soldiers sang it during the French and Indian War, a full 2 decades before the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and they would use it to shatter the courage of the colonists throughout the Revolution, sometimes posting troops to sing it outside a church during colonial religious services. It was meant to taunt us, to make us afraid. Then a curious thing happened to this demoralizing melody. We stole it. Just lifted it, words in full from the voices of our enemies. One patriot suggested that we should change the words, befitting the colonial cause. Although his man named Francis Hopkinson successfully came up with a new set of lyrics. Our forefathers favored the original. Old Hopkinson's Battle of the Kegs was sung all right, but we, perpetrating a long tradition of musical psychological warfare, knew what hurt the most. So the enemy heard their own song, their own words thrown right back in their ears. And it worked. It became a favorite in every camp. It was heard in battle, in defeat, in victory. It was even played at the final surrender of General Cornwallis. Yes, the enemy anthem worked for the American during the Revolutionary War. Such was its subsequent popularity that it brilliantly survived the war itself. Benjamin Carr used it in an orchestral medley, the Federal Overture. Written in 1794, a century later, visiting European composers would write variations on the tune, honoring the Americans and their efforts during the Revolution. This song was intended to needle American troops during our Revolution, until with incurable or incomparable American mischief, we turned the needle around and they got the point. The redcoat rhyme that made our own forevermore was Yankee Doodle. And now you know the rest of the story. Well, on my next show, Sean LaFave and I are going to be talking about healthcare on the Geared for Wellness Corner, and I continue to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. You know what? Don't forget to tell all your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.